Picture this. You've spent months planning your dream trip or preparing for a major business flight. Your passport's ready, your ticket is booked, your bags are packed. You step out of the taxi and walk through the sliding glass doors of a massive, bustling international airport. And almost instantly, your heart rate spikes. Thousands of people are rushing past you in every direction. The announcements overhead are firing off in rapid English. A giant digital board flickers with changing flight numbers and gate assignments. You look down at your passport, and a small wave of panic sets in. Over the next few hours, you're going to have to navigate a series of high-pressure checkpoints. You'll talk to a check-in agent, explain your luggage, answer sharp security and customs questions, and possibly figure out what to do if your flight gets delayed or your gate suddenly changes. If you freeze, misunderstand a question, or hesitate too long, you could end up facing awkward delays, unexpected fees, extra questioning, or in the worst case, actually missing your flight. You start thinking, I know conversational English pretty well, but airport English feels completely different. It's fast, transactional, and there's basically zero room for error. Take a breath, because here's some genuinely good news. Airports feel chaotic on the surface, but from a language standpoint, they're actually some of the most predictable places on Earth. Every international airport follows roughly the same layout, and the staff at each checkpoint tend to use the same handful of questions and phrases, day after day, flight after flight. If you already know what's coming before you even step into the terminal, you remove almost all of the surprise. You stop panicking, and you start moving through the airport with the quiet confidence of someone who's done this 100 times before. Today we're walking through the entire airport journey together, step by step. We'll cover exactly what to say at the check-in desk, the specific vocabulary you need to clear security and customs smoothly, how to navigate the departure lounge and find your gate, and finally, clear, practical phrases for handling the most common travel emergencies. By the end, you'll have a complete verbal roadmap for your next international flight. Let's start at the check-in desk and baggage drop. Your journey officially begins the moment you walk into the departure hall, heading toward your airline's check-in counter to print your boarding pass and drop off any heavy luggage. When it's your turn, the agent will begin with a fairly standard opening. Something like, "Hello, where are you flying to today?" Or, "Can I please have your passport and booking reference?" Your response might sound like, "Hi, I'm flying to London Heathrow today. Here's my passport." Or, "Hello, I checked in online, but I need to print my boarding pass and drop off my bags." A quick tip here, your booking reference, sometimes called a reservation code, is that unique 6-character code attached to your ticket. Keep it pulled up on your phone or written down ahead of time, so you're not scrambling at the counter. Next, the agent will handle your bags. In aviation terms, luggage splits into 2 categories: checked bags, the large suitcases that travel in the belly of the plane, and carry-on or hand luggage, the smaller bag you bring into the cabin with you. The agent might say, "How many bags are you checking today?" Or, "Please place your bags on the scale." You might respond, "I have 1 bag to check, and this backpack is my carry-on." This is also where hidden fees can sneak up on you. If your suitcase is too heavy, the agent might say, "I'm sorry, but your suitcase exceeds the weight limit. It's 3 kilograms overweight, and you'll need to pay a fee, or remove some items." If you'd rather avoid the fee, you can say, "Let me open it up and shift some weight into my carry-on backpack." Or ask, "Is there a repacking area nearby where I can adjust this?" And if you're carrying anything breakable, be sure to say, "Could you please put a fragile sticker on this bag? It contains delicate electronics." Before printing your ticket, the agent will also check your seat. It helps to know the basic terms: window seat, next to the window; aisle seat, next to the walking path, giving you easy access to stand up; and middle seat, sandwiched between the two, generally the least popular option. If you'd like to change yours, you might say, "Could I please get an aisle seat if there's one available?" Or, "Are there any exit row seats available for extra legroom?" Once everything's finalized, the agent hands back your passport along with your printed boarding pass and explains your route, something like, "Your flight departs from gate B14. Boarding begins at 4:30, and the gate closes 20 minutes before departure. Your seat is 24A. It's worth remembering that your boarding time is not your departure time. It's the moment the doors actually open for passengers to walk on. If you arrive at your actual departure time, you've almost certainly missed the flight. With your boarding pass in hand, you'll follow signs toward the security checkpoint, widely considered the most stressful zone in any airport. mainly because officers speak in sharp, direct commands to keep the line moving quickly. Try not to take their tone personally, it's simply efficient, not personal. As you approach the scanners, listen for instructions like, please take off your jacket, coat, and belt, or all laptops, tablets, and liquids must be taken out of your bags and placed in a separate tray. It's worth knowing the standard liquids rule ahead of time, often called the 3-1-1 rule, meaning liquids need to be in containers of 100 milliliters or less, all fitting inside a single clear, resealable bag. If you're unsure about something, simple questions work fine, like, do I need to take my shoes off? Or, should my smartwatch go in the bin or stay on my wrist? If the metal detector beeps as you walk through, don't panic. An officer will likely say, step back please. Do you have anything left in your pockets, keys, loose change? You can simply respond, sorry, I forgot I had my keys in my back pocket. Let me put them in the tray. In many international airports, you'll also pass through an immigration desk before reaching your gate, where an officer checks your passport and visa status, sometimes asking things like, are you traveling for business or leisure? A simple, clear answer works best. I'm traveling for leisure, I was here on vacation. Now let's fast forward to your destination, after landing, once you've walked off the plane into the arrivals hall, facing passport control. This checkpoint is legally significant, and the officer's questions tend to be direct and specific. Answer clearly, truthfully, and without jokes. When they ask, what is the purpose of your visit? They simply want to know why you're entering the country. And a fitting answer is something like, I'm here for a 2-week vacation, or I'm here to attend a business conference. When they ask, where will you be staying? They want your actual address for that night. So you'd say, I'll be staying at the Hilton Hotel downtown. Here's my booking confirmation. If they ask about your job, a simple, I work as a software engineer back home, covers it. If they ask about a return ticket, meaning they want proof you plan to leave, you'd say, yes, I have a return flight booked for August 14th. Here's the itinerary. And if asked how much cash you're carrying, a direct answer works well. I have roughly $300 in cash, along with my international credit cards. After clearing passport control and collecting your bags from baggage claim, you'll reach the customs exit, where you'll choose between 2 clearly marked lanes. The green channel, meaning nothing to declare, is for travelers only carrying personal items within legal limits, with nothing restricted like agricultural products, meat, plants, or large sums of cash. The red channel, meaning goods to declare, is for anyone carrying items over the tax-free limit or restricted goods. If an officer stops you and asks, do you have any food, plants, or agricultural products to declare? A simple no, I don't have anything to declare, just personal clothes, usually does the job. Once you're through security, you're officially in the departure lounge, where you can relax, grab a coffee, or browse some duty-free shopping. But it's important to keep an eye on the flight information display screens throughout. Find your flight number and check its status. On time means everything's proceeding as scheduled. Delayed means it's running late, with a new estimated time listed nearby. Boarding means staff are actively loading passengers right now, so you should head to the gate immediately. Gate change means your flight has been reassigned to a different physical location, so double-check the new gate number carefully. And canceled means the flight won't be flying today, and you'll need to head straight to an airline service desk. If you ever get lost in a massive terminal, don't wander aimlessly. Just ask a staff member something simple, like, excuse me, can you tell me how to get to gate C23? Or, how long does it take to walk to Terminal 2 from here? And when buying anything at a duty-free shop or cafe, expect the cashier to ask, can I see your boarding pass, please? Since duty-free purchases require proof of international travel. Now, no matter how carefully you plan, international travel is genuinely unpredictable. Weather causes delays, technical issues cause cancellations, and sometimes luggage simply doesn't show up. The real difference between a full-blown travel disaster and a minor inconvenience often comes down entirely to your vocabulary. If you can clearly and politely advocate for yourself, airline staff will generally work hard to help solve the problem. If your flight is canceled or badly delayed, head straight to the customer service or transfer desk, and stay calm, the agent didn't cause the issue. You might say, hello, my flight to New York was just canceled. Can you please look up my booking reference and see what my options are? Or, will the airline provide a hotel voucher and a meal coupon for the night? If you miss a connecting flight because your first one landed late, you're what's called a misconnected passenger, and you'll want to head straight to the transit service counter. You might say, hi, My incoming flight from Paris arrived 40 minutes late, which caused me to miss my connection to Tokyo. What's the next step to rebook my travel? It's worth knowing that a standby ticket means you don't yet have a guaranteed seat. You'll need to wait at the gate to see if space opens up. If your luggage never shows up on the carousel, don't leave the arrivals hall yet. Filing a claim becomes much harder once you're outside the secure area. Head to the baggage service or lost luggage office nearby, and keep your baggage claim tag, that small barcode sticker attached to your boarding pass when you first checked your bag, since you'll need it here. When the agent asks you to describe your bag, be specific rather than vague. Instead of just saying it's a suitcase, try something like, it's a large, hard-shell, 4-wheel suitcase in dark navy blue, with a red nylon strap around the center and a leather name tag on the handle. You can also ask, can you track its current location in your system? Or, when the bag arrives, will it be delivered directly to my hotel free of charge? Navigating an international airport in a foreign language really doesn't have to be a stressful, anxiety-filled experience. The airport is, at its core, a remarkably predictable system. Every person working behind those desks, from the check-in agent to the customs officer, is following the same repeatable script of everyday English questions. By learning this specific vocabulary, understanding the terms for your seats and luggage, and having these problem-solving phrases ready in advance, you strip away most of the chaos and turn the airport into simply the exciting gateway to your next journey. Thank you for watching, and safe travels.